What's going on, everyone, and happy May. It's that time of the month again where we're gonna go over the Bay Area real estate market update. Over the past few weeks, this market has shown no signs of slowing down. Trust me, I know. I've been going out every single week and looking at properties and bidding on properties only to get our offers rejected again and again and again. It's a very tough market, but we're gonna be able to see exactly how tough it actually is by going into the data itself. So without further ado, let's take a look at the market data for Santa Clara County, San Mateo County, San Francisco County, Alameda County, and Contra Costa County. The first one we're going to look at is Santa Clara County single family homes and checking out their statistics. So over the past month, we've seen that the days on market have decreased again. From last month, it was at 16 days on market. Now we're down to just 12 days on market. It's very often that I would look at a property that was listed on the market on a Thursday, have it shown for the weekend, and then by Tuesday, they already had an offer accepted way above market price. As you can see here, the average sale to list price ratio in Santa Clara County is around 110%, up from around 109% from last month, which means that if a property was listed for $1 million, it's not gonna sell for $1 million. It'll sell for around $1,100,000. If we take a quick look at the listings by price range, we can see that we still have the same peaks at 800 to 1 million, 1.2 to 1.4, and 2 to 3 million. Looking at the months of inventory, we can see that it's dropped a little bit. Let's look at the actual data, and we're down to just 0.7. So this means that if there were absolutely no new listings and then homes kept selling at this exact same pace, in less than a month, we would have sold out of all the homes and there would be absolutely no more homes left in Santa Clara County for people to buy. Low months of inventory just show that this market is very healthy and is clearly in a seller's market. If we look at this graph, we can see the number of homes for sale versus sold, and we can see here that there is a huge inversion to the norm. Normally, you usually have more properties that are active than properties that are sold, but as you can see right here, we've sold 1,274 properties in the month of April, whereas there's only 954 that are active. And this goes to show that a lot of properties are being sold, there's not enough inventory, people are buying, and it is absolutely freaking crazy right now. Let's take a look at the sales prices and see if they've changed a little bit. So you can see here that the sales price has increased a little bit on average. And don't worry about this number. This is the first day of May, so these numbers are all messed up. But as of April, we can see that on average in Santa Clara County, homes are selling for $1.952 million, which is very, very, very high. Up almost 40 grand from March and up almost 150 grand from February. So this market is really going up at a very rapid pace. All right, so we look at sales volume by area. So we can see this is how much in like a dollar value of how much properties have sold in this area. So you can see here we have around $2.6 billion that were sold in San Jose. And this makes sense because there's a lot of properties in San Jose, and San Jose city itself is actually really large. In Palo Alto, we have around 500 million. And this is because homes in Palo Alto usually cost more than homes in any other place in the Santa Clara County. Then we have Los Gatos and Sunnyvale. Now let's change a little bit and let's look at the number of homes that were sold. So the actual volume. And same here, you can see that more homes are sold in San Jose and then Gilroy and then Sunnyvale. So take a look at the actual data, and we can see that 195 were sold. And this is year to date. So let's change this to month actually. So let's change a little bit. If you look at the sales volume by area, so if we look at how many properties were sold in each city, we can see that most of the homes were sold in San Jose, then Morgan Hill, then Sunnyvale. The very bottom, we have 1 in Stanford, 5 in Montecito, and 6 in Los Altos Hills. So if you're trying to flip houses and you're trying to get a lot of volume, go for these places: San Jose, Morgan Hill, and Sunnyvale. It seems like there's a lot of properties that are being sold in this area. All right, now let's do the same thing for condos and townhouses in Santa Clara County. Wow, so you can see here that condos are also doing well. The days on market have dropped significantly. See, back in January, we were still at 35. And that was just kind of showing that the condo market wasn't as resilient, but now it's on 18 days. So condo market in Santa Clara County, very strong. 104% sales to list price ratio. If we look at the months of inventory indicate that we're at 0.9 months. So condo market is doing better than before. If we look at the number of actives versus sold, wow, we can see a little bit of an inversion here too. So we have 577 that were sold and only 532 that are active. Check out the sales price. Looks like it went down just by a little bit, but we're still a little bit shy of $1 million for condos in Santa Clara County. All right, so next up, let's check out San Mateo County. Let's check out the average sales to list price ratio here. Wow, so even here, the sales to list price ratio for San Mateo County has recovered significantly. Look at that, shot up. So now it's again at 110%. So here, you're selling properties for $2 million. So if it's listed for $2 million, it's probably going to go for $2.2 million. And days on market have decreased to just 17 days on market. So it looks like we're a hot market everywhere. All right, check out months of inventory, 0.9 months, still very strong. Number of homes for sale and sold. Yeah, same thing here too. More properties sold than properties on the market. Sales price over time has increased again. Isn't this crazy? $2.325 million on average. So we look at the sales volume by area. Most of the properties were sold in San Mateo, and then Redwood City, and then Daly City. So I guess these are the places that you want to be if you're trying to sell your house quickly. All right, let's do it again with condos and townhouses. So yeah, see, these are taking a little bit longer still, and I think it's because it's still relatively expensive. But 25 days on market, a lot better than 38 days from a few months ago, and we're up 102.5% for the sales to list price ratio. All right, taking a look at the months of inventory, 1.3, so not too bad. A lot better than before. Look at that, last year, 3.6 months. Now it's at 1.3. And it's so crazy because we're actually 1 year into the pandemic now. A year ago, when we were doing this, we actually froze a lot of the listings on MLS to not affect their days on market. But here we are, a year later, we're still technically in the pandemic and homes are just flying off the shelves. All right, so take a look at this chart, number of homes for sale versus sold. But here, okay, this is normal. We have more properties that are on the market than have been sold. So this is actually pretty normal and definitely better than this. See, in the past here, we had way more properties that were on the market than were actually sold. So when this happens, we have way more properties on the market, then you have too much supply, not enough demand, so prices go down. Whereas you saw in the other charts where more properties were sold than there are properties on the market, and that creates higher pricing because everyone wants the properties. All right, let's check out the sales prices over time. And yeah, it's going up, so it's a little bit over $1 million now. All right, let's do this for San Francisco now. So for San Francisco, single family market is doing well as well. It's gone down from 24 days on market to an average of 19 days on the market. And now we're at 114%. So San Francisco single family homes are doing really well. All right, let's check out the months of inventory, 1.6 months. All right, homes for sale versus sold. So there's a lot of properties that are on the market versus the ones that are sold. Checking out sales price over time. The sales price have increased a little bit. So on average, they're at 2.367. So very similar to San Mateo County. If we look at sales volume by area, let's do some custom stuff. Okay, so here's where we can see properties are selling. Parkside, Bernal Heights, Noe Valley, and Central Sunset. All right, let's do the same thing, but for SF condos and townhouses. Now, historically, since we've been doing these for about a year now, this metric has always been like the worst. Like people are moving out of SF like crazy, so we'll see how it is now. And I mean, okay, this is not bad. It's gone up so much since January. So now property is selling for about 104.5% of its listing price, and they're now going for 38 days on the market. So not as crazy of a market as it is in like the South Bay, but definitely a lot better than it was just a few months ago where it was at 66 days on the market. So if you were thinking of holding back and trying to beat up the sellers to get their condo, that time might have passed. We're now down back to normalcy-ish, and now property is sitting for 38 days on the market. Let's look at the months of inventory here. And you can see here that before we were at like 9 months. There was no movement this time last year. Now we're at 2.8 months. So not the best, but still not the worst. All right, looking at numbers for sale versus sold. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best still. So if you want a good deal on real estate, and you don't want to fight with a lot of people, I suggest checking out condos in SF. Take the opportunity while you can, because once things go back to normal and everyone wants to move back into San Francisco, you're not gonna be able to find great deals like this. And in fact, you might be like clawing and fighting over people to get the same deals that were once just out there for everyone. If you look at the sales price over time, it has gone up a little bit, but still not quite at its peak from last year. So it's around $1.4 million, which is a lot for a condo, not gonna lie. All right, let's check out the East Bay, Alameda County. And the Alameda graph is messed up because of this one random point. So in a few months, that point will be gone and we can finally use this chart again. But as you can see, it has gone up, 115%. So if your listing here is at $1 million, expect to pay $1.15 million to actually get the property. And that's on average. Alameda County has been ridiculous. And look at this, days on market, 11. The average days of sale is just 11 days from listing to pending. So a lot of people are thinking, hey, I want to get into a starter home. I want to buy it in the East Bay, Alameda County. Well, guess what? Everyone else is thinking the exact same thing. And so you're fighting with everyone for these really cheap and affordable houses. If you're trying to buy property and you're looking at Alameda County, expect to pay, 15, 16, 20% above asking, and oftentimes no contingencies, clean close within 30 days. It's sad to say, but that's what it takes to win in this market. All right, if we look at the months of inventory, this one only has 0.6 months. So it's the hottest market we've seen so far. If you look at the number of homes for sale versus sold, and we check out the chart, oh my God, look at this. This is crazy. 1,117 sold and 675 active. I mean, look, we had the same thing happen in December, right? With this huge green bar here and just this itty bitty red bar here. So this shows that more properties are being sold than are being put on the market. And so there's just so much demand for properties in Alameda County right now. Sale price over time. If you look at the sale price over time, it's gone up. This is crazy. Look at this. 1.392 million on average in Alameda County, okay? This time last year, the average was 1,090,000. So it's gone up by $300,000 in 1 year. This is insane. So all you flippers out there, let's take a look at what are the best places to flip houses in Alameda County. So clearly Oakland's the #1 winner, but again, it's very big. And then Fremont, Livermore, Pleasanton. So if you want to flip homes and you want to make sure your home gets sold ASAP, flip in these areas. All right, let's check out how the condo and townhouse market is going. It's about the same as last month, 106%. And days on market have decreased again. The condo market in Alameda County is also very crazy. 16 days on market is just over 2 weeks. Less than months of inventory, which is pretty good. Number of homes for sale versus sold. We have more properties that are sold than are actually on the market. Let's see how condos have increased in price. It's gone up. Again, don't worry about this one. This is because of an artifact of being just the first day of May. But here we have 730. So 730, it's gone up almost 50,000 from last year at this time. And finally, we're gonna go to Contra Costa County. 12 days on market. So Contra Costa County, Alameda County, man, these markets are going freaking insane. 110% for sales to list price ratio. Months of inventory, super low, half a month, 2 weeks, and then you have no more inventory left. Number of homes for sale versus sold. Wow, look at this. Crazy, crazy. So many properties are sold, so few properties on the market. Let's see how Contra Costa County has increased in price over time. Wow, look at this. $1.23 million, up from $930 from last year. So this one too, increased by $300,000. Basically a 30% increase from last year. All right, so if we look at where to buy properties, Brentwood, Danville, Antioch, and Concord. These are where there's a lot of volume, where you can buy a property and then be confident that it will sell within a good time frame. All right, and finally, let's look at the condos and townhouse market for Contra Costa County. Okay, interesting. So the average days on market have increased by a little bit from 17 to 18 days, but the sales to list price ratio have increased by a little bit. Just looking at the months of inventory, it has decreased to 0.7 months. Take a look at the number of homes for sale versus sold. So again, very healthy market. Sales price have increased quite a bit, so $625 now for a condo versus $636 from last year. So almost $100,000 jump from 1 year. So this concludes the data portion of the Bay Area real estate market update. But not gonna lie, I wasn't surprised at all from being active in the market, from putting in offers and seeing what's going on. I knew it would be just like this. The market is super hot right now. Interest rates are still very low. People still have jobs. The stock market, crypto market, all the equity is really high. So that's why people can then buy properties and be very confident with their purchases. Supply is still low because of COVID. We have to still schedule things out. We can't just go see 10 properties at once. We have to schedule things out and see one thing at a time. And this is also the springtime. And historically, spring has always been a very hot season in the Bay Area real estate market. Now that being said, will this last? And the answer is, I don't know. No one really knows for sure. COVID has really screwed things up and has changed things. Some people think that this will continue. There's really nothing that's going to stop the market from changing, and no one really predicts a giant collapse. And I somewhat agree. I don't think there's going to be any crazy collapse. But the thing is, this market reminds me a lot of the spring of 2018, where everyone's trying to gobble up properties. Everyone's going freaking crazy and jumping on properties because of that sense of scarcity. And they see that month over month, properties are getting more and more expensive. And so every month that they sit, the properties are just getting more and more expensive. But then what happened in 2018 is by the time fall came around, people were just tired and interest rates had increased because of our trade war. And because of that, people were like, you know what? I don't really want this property anymore. And they just kind of sat on the sidelines. Very quickly, the market just cooled off. So the properties that were selling for top dollar no longer sold for top dollar. They held on the market for a little bit longer and then end up selling for less than what they expected to. Now, for most people, this is not a problem. If you're buying a property for your own personal residence, or if you're buying a property for a long-term rental, it does not matter, because over time, I believe the market will continue to go up and any short-term changes won't really make a difference. But if you're a brand new flipper and you don't have a good crew, you don't really know what you're doing, you're over leveraging your money, this is the time to be careful, because you might be caught up in the hype and you might buy something at the top of the market only to have this cool down hit you. And when it happens, you won't be able to sell the property at the price that you thought you could sell it for. And that's where you get in trouble. It's really, if you're a new investor, you don't have your systems in place, and you're overbidding on a property way above market price just because you want to get in. That's where you need to be careful. But other than that, I think it is still a great time to get into the real estate market. You know, if you have equity and you want to just capture it instead of just letting it ride on the market, capture it, put it into a property, you know, take advantage of these low interest rates for a long 30-year fixed mortgage. And I think it'd be really great over the long run. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Were you guys surprised at all with these numbers with the Bay Area real estate market? Or were you like, yeah, this makes sense. Totally agree. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, do me a quick favor and just spend 2 seconds to smash the like button to let YouTube know that you guys enjoy videos just like this one. And if you guys are looking to get into fix and flip projects, or if you guys have more questions about the real estate market, you can schedule a call with me with the link down in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Take care.